I grew up as a digital citizen, a generation of children that did not have life before the internet. And when asked how I feel about technology in the classroom, I feel Scott Wildman summed it up well in his TEDx talk.
So, example, if I'm having students use cell phones to do some research, I'm always impressed when I see the kid who's got multiple tabs open, they're cross-referencing sources and citing information all at the same time, and I think, wow, technology in the classroom, what a valuable tool. But then you see the kid who's streaming Netflix or literally doing a TikTok mid-class, and I think, wow, technology in the classroom, what a needless distraction. And this is the problem, right?
He goes on to talk about his experiences, whether it's a distraction or an amazing tool. And now we're in an age where we're not getting away from the technology. We have to do the best and utilize it as the tools we have. I grew up with these tools. I can see Generation Alpha growing up with more access than I had to unrestricted screen time, more videos and content designed to wear down dopamine receptors and cause digital dependency. A generation where there is an critical thinking crisis, because instead of actively trying to think of things, kids are searching for answers and using Google or generative AI before trying to come up with solutions. But I don't just want to discredit technology in the classroom for its entirety. I grew up with ebooks and audiobooks, and those two specific examples really, really helped me. Ethan Dickinson has this clip.
That learning or carrying a weight off a shoulder. Now, if you look at this textbook, that is approximately a 10-pound textbook. Now, think if you had the 5 classes every day in a textbook per class, that's about 50 pounds. But the average boy that weighs 112 pounds should only have about 20% of what he weighs on his back. So that's about 22 pounds. Compare 50 pounds to 22, and eventually you're going to look like this dude. And a lot of you already do. Hunched over, walking around with big backpacks. But if you were to take out your phone, you would realize that this phone is only around 3 grams. 3 grams, that all you have to do is click on an app, your Safari button, anything, and go to a provider such as McDougall online textbooks, or Holt McDougall, Pearson Online, or sometimes McGraw-Hill. They all contain online textbooks at your disposal on your lightweight, tiny phone.
Enjoy that. Now, I remember being a kid and switching from textbooks to tablets, and the weight off my back was amazing. I loved using word processors and typing. When I was diagnosed with dysgraphia, I was taught to type before I had fully grasped the concept of handwriting, and now I'm faster at typing than I am at writing. I love ebooks and audiobooks. They are what carried me through school and kept me engaged with my studies. But I also love physical textbooks, writing notes in the margin and sticky tabbing things so I can remember. I know you can do an approximation of these things in ebooks, but it doesn't give you the same tactile response. And it's not just me. In a study published by the National Library of Medicine, conducted by Marano et al., titled The Neuroscience Behind Writing, Handwriting versus Typing, Who Wins the Battle? They came to a pretty solid conclusion, saying that both technology and handwriting have their benefits, but compared with handwriting, which requires more time and attention to learn, typing can be considered simpler and faster. It enables the production and more easily readable, homogeneous product in less time. However, focused on attention and longer processing time to improve memory retention, and once automated control of graphic gesture achieved, minimal cognitive effort is required. I really do think that handwriting has its benefits when it comes to note-taking. As much as I have trouble reading my own handwriting sometimes, I do remember things better, and I know I'm not the only one. The article is going to be linked in the description, and it's a part of the paper I'll be turning in, linked with this. I highly recommend checking it out. I didn't get to read the entire thing, but it was really interesting from what I got to. The third video I found for this assignment was kind of on the extreme side of technology in the classroom in that they have no technology in the classroom. CNBC's report on Sacramento Waldorf School is a tech-free school that focuses on learning skills and understanding that can be lost when focusing on how to use integrated technology. They teach sewing, gardening, and other artistic skills along with fundamental structural learning that has some of the largest tech executives sending their children to the school, which keeps their kids away from the product that they make.
One of the things that the research makes clear is that there's a huge impact of cell phones and social media platforms like Instagram and Snapchat and other platforms on kids' brains and on their social and emotional development. There's also links to addictive compulsive behavior, to attention distraction issues, and many other concerns.
Teen depression, anxiety, and suicide are also on the rise. At the generational level, studies show that kids today spend less time hanging out with their friends than they used to. Some recent studies have linked these concerning statistics with smartphone use. So it's no wonder parents, and even kids themselves, are worried.
I have a few friends of mine who went to middle school, and then now they go to public school, and I know they spend their entire day pretty much on the screen. I hang out with them, and they'll just be like this all the time. We go to like social meetings or whatever, and everyone just be beep, 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 beep. They wouldn't talk, like, how are you? Oh, good. They wouldn't have a complete conversation.
Now, I don't believe that all schools need to follow the Waldorf model. But I also do believe that schools shouldn't be taught by AI. I found other videos solely using AI as teachers in schools. Now, I do not believe that all schools need to follow the Waldorf model. I do believe that schools should not be relying on AI and other generative prompts to be teaching their students, which is something I found examples of while researching videos for this. And if given the choice between an AI teacher or the Waldorf model, I know I would prefer the one where I get to go gardening and sewing and actually have a teacher in the classroom versus having generative AI teach me and maybe not even teach me properly. Thank you.